stars are made for shining. I know I got some lightning.
Welcome to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. And welcome to today's historic broadcast of the very first college softball game on ABC. We are on the road to the Women's College World Series with top-seeded Oklahoma and the 16-seed Washington. The Sooners took game one of our best of three last night. They are one win away from a spot in the World Series. On the left side of the bracket, Georgia, earlier this afternoon, got the two-game sweep of Florida. They are on to the Women's College World Series. Our winner here in Norman will face the winner of the Como Regional, JMU and Missouri. And we welcome you to Marita Hines Field here in Norman. I'm Beth Mowens, along with our gold medal crew, our Olympians, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe will be with us today as well. We start out with the top seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, one of the best offenses, Jess, to ever step to the plate. They are averaging close to 12 runs per game this year.
Beth, we have seen so much history in this sport, but we have never seen an offense quite like what the Oklahoma Sooners have put on throughout their entire lineup. What the numbers have shown, their batting average, so it's not just the power. Are you kidding me? As a team, 421 is what they have hit so far. And then the home runs, the long ball, 143 home runs. In fact, they've scored so many, they've had 33 run rules so far this season. And then the OPS, that's on base and slugging together, over 1,300. I can't emphasize as a team, but history is defined by how a team performs in the postseason, and this Oklahoma Sooner team is one win away from getting to the World Series.
They did get that win last night. They did beat Gabby Plain, the All-American pitcher for Washington, but Gabby kept things close. She seeks her revenge today. This is an arm, Michelle, that we might be watching in the Olympics for Australia this summer.
Yeah, Gabby Plain is masterful. She has a very unique pitching style. She throws all of her pitches off of a two-seam grip, which makes them break sharp and late, and that's the key. She can layer her pitches through the zone. She tunnels them, so it's hard to tell if it's going up and down, a curve, a rise, a drop, all of those explosive through the strike zone. Gabby Plain, one of the tops in the country on strikeouts, shutouts. She has the ability to shut down big offenses.
Here's what's at stake this afternoon. Oklahoma, a win. They have a shot at a fifth national championship next week. Washington needs to win, and we come back and play again tomorrow.
The Sooners are super! Washington to go to their 14th Super Regional.
This is the place to be in Norman, Oklahoma. Even the football coaches out on the party patio. Lincoln Riley, the current coach, the legend Bob Stoops, here to check out the top-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. For game two, they are the visitors. As we take a look at the Sooners lineup, brought to you by Capital One. Jocelyn Alo with her 29th home run yesterday, one shy of the single-season mark she shares with Lauren Chamberlain, who is the career NCAA home run leader. She's also in the house today. And for the second day in a row, it's Gabby Plain. Only threw 86 pitches, took the loss. Washington had a shot in the seventh inning, could not close it out, so it's back to Gabby today, needing a win.
Plain used to throwing multiple days in a row, and that 86 pitches, as you mentioned, Beth, not a lot. Able to recover from that easily.
Sold out. They have invited fans to bring a chair, then a cooler, and pull it up outside the outfield fences here just to be a part of this electric atmosphere. As the Oklahoma Sooners are one win away from a return to the Women's College World Series. And the 16 seed Washington one of the best defenses in the country. In fact, number 2 behind Oklahoma in fielding percentage this year. Tiare Jennings in the leadoff, and the 0-1 from Gabby Plain. Jennings has been spectacular, along with her fellow freshman Jada Coleman. They are 2 of the 3 finalists, along with Val Cagle at Clemson for National Freshman of the Year honors. Plain's got her 0-2. Tiare has shown no sign of any postseason jitters, guys. She's hitting .660 in the NCAA tournament with 6 extra base hits in 4 games. That one's fouled off.
You know, Smitty, we're seeing the mix of movement from Gabby Plain, the drop ball, the curve ball, the rise, as you mentioned, but the mix of speed is real, and that's going to be huge for Gabby. Not so much to get even the swing and miss, but just off the end of the bat, in on the hands. We've seen everything from 65 to 57 miles an hour.
It's that late sharp break, ability to mix those speeds, throw to every quadrant.
Another 2-strike offering. And that one sent the other way into the gap. Back to the wall in right center, and Jennings has another double. Had one yesterday, and now 22 on the season for Jennings.
Look at where this pitch is located. This is exactly where Gabby Plain wants it. It's a drop ball on the outside part of the plate at her ankles. Yes, ankles. Tiare Jennings does a great job of throwing the barrel down at the ankles to drive this all the way to the wall. Tiare Jennings, not just a great hitter at pitches in the zone, but out of the zone as well to lead it off for the Sooners.
With a 2-strike count, she delivers, and that'll bring up Jocelyn Alo in our matchup of All-Americans and finalists for Player of the Year honors. Alo and Plain. Jocelyn got her for a home run in Game 1 yesterday, a 4-2 win for the Sooners. She's hitting better than .450 so far in the postseason and better than .470 for the entire year.
Well, and yesterday when Plain worked Alo inside, she just roped it. Needs to work her away, try to expand that strike zone. But Jess, you mentioned it, this is an Oklahoma team that not only do they hit strikes, they hit pitches outside of the zone very well for power, for average, and that's why they are tough to shut down.
From Hauula, Hawaii, the senior who has already announced she will be returning next season. Plain able to knock it down. Bates scrambling, nowhere to go with it. Runners on the corners and nobody out.
Well, and Alo just gets into this pitch right back up the middle, and this is one that Plain wishes she had back, goes off the glove. I like that Sis Bates decides not to go after Alo, sees if she can get Jennings taking a wide turn, which she does not.
Well, and that's one of the things, not only do they hit it over the fence, but Patty Gasso loves how hard they hit the ball and the kind of pressure that can put on a defense. There you see the 4-time national champion. Nearly 3 decades with the Sooners. Over in that third base box for Oklahoma. Here's Jada Coleman. One of the toughest outs in the game. She has reached base safely in all 51 of their contests. And I think they have just called Coleman out for stepping out of the batter's box.
This came from Megan Rabin actually out on the field. Usually you see this call come from home plate just because they have the view. We saw Jada Coleman do this yesterday. Come out of the batter's box. She clearly does it there to try to reach a pitch way away. And we saw this yesterday. It was not called. That back foot out of the batter's box, illegal. She is shocked, which surprises me.
There was a bit of a controversy, of course, yesterday with the chalk of the batter's box. That was watched very closely earlier pre-game. It looks to be correct. Heather Tarr and Washington thought that it was not the full 6 inches away from home plate. There were 3 hit batters in the first inning, resulting in a run for OU. And a good conversation Heather had with the grounds crew here at Marita Hines Field pregame. All is well between the two sides. And score that 2U in your scorebook. Jada Coleman, you cannot have any part of your foot outside the batter's box upon contact. But now it's back to the right side for the catcher, Kinsey Hansen.
Well, it's interesting, the defensive formation for Washington. When Coleman was up, they were pulled in, obviously, with no outs. Now with 1 out, looking at double play depth. So the middles, Bates and Atley, looking for something hard up the middle to potentially turn 2 with a right-handed batter up.
Bates is your Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, 3 straight years running. A bit of a surprise, actually, yesterday. The teams combined for 3 errors. That was a rarity for these two defenses. And that pitch gets away from Plain, and sliding in safe with the first run is Jennings. Scoring on the wild pitch.
Well, you don't see this very often from Gabby Plain. This is a rise ball that's not even close to the zone, just holds on to it too late. Nice job by Morgan Flores to try to get the ball to Plain and apply the tag, but Jennings is so fast. Great reacts.
And it's a short backstop. I mean, that was only a few feet that Flores had to go to get to that ball.
Hansen still with an RBI opportunity as Alo took second base on the wild pitch. Kinsey on a 7-game hitting streak. Chopped to short, that'll drive Bates onto the grass. Couldn't get her footing, and Hansen is aboard.
Last 2 hits, just pounding the ball into the ground. Jocelyn Alo before this off of Gabby Plain, and then this one almost a slap from the right side using that drop ball in the ground. Remember, Sis Bates pulled up the middle. Smitty pointed that out, deep and up the middle. No chance of getting anyone there.
One change in the batting order today for Oklahoma. Taylon Snow moved from 7th up to 5th. Switching places with Nicole Mendez. So here is Snow hitting .500 in the NCAA tournament. I mean, we talked about it at the top of the show. This is one of the greatest offenses throughout the course of the regular season in the history of the game. So you're going to see some pretty gaudy numbers. It's a rarity, actually, to talk about somebody that is not hitting .400 or better. And our first conference of the ball game. This is a very experienced battery with Gabby Plain and Morgan Flores. They've been together for 4 years.
A lot of talent, a lot of trust between the two of them and Gabby Plain. I don't think she was as sharp as she would have liked to have been yesterday. Her pitches look a little bit better dialed in today, but it's those single little mistakes, the rise ball holding onto it too late for the wild pitch.
What's the biggest challenge going back-to-back, Smitty? Your experience as a long-time Olympic pitcher?
I think a lot of times it's your mentality saying, hey, it's okay. I know they saw me 3 times through the lineup yesterday. I can still fool them in multiple ways. I'd like to see her mix speeds a little bit more. You know, that would set up all of her other pitches with that late sharp break on those 2-seam grips that she uses. You know, she's not going to blow it past you. She's going to live in that low 60, 62, 63 miles an hour with really good breakdown, a good rise ball up, but she needs to be able to mix in that changeup in the high 40s, low 50s to create some separation and velocity.
Well, and so often she relies on her strikeouts to work her way out of jams. 333 K on the year, but only 2 yesterday. The Sooners have been good at getting bat on the ball. She's the #2 strikeout pitcher in the country this year, behind Keely Rochard of Virginia Tech. Rochard and the Hokies face UCLA. Winner-take-all Game 3 tonight in Westwood for a spot in the World Series, which gets underway on Thursday in Oklahoma City. Got Snow to swipe at it, and there is one of those strikeouts for Gabby Plain. 2 down.
Well, for Plain, a lot of times it's the setup pitch, so she's going to go upstairs, the rise ball at the eyes, and then look at how she's going to change. She's going to layer her pitches. She tunnels them out so they look very much the same until they break up or down, and that drop ball just shoots down and away. She picks up her first strikeout of the game.
Boy, and the conference is coming often and early here in this must-win game for the University of Washington. What an atmosphere. Sold out crowd at Marita Hines Field, the longtime administrator here at Oklahoma, and so important in developing the success of the Sooner program with head coach Patty Gasso. There's the fans out in the home run village, just to be a part of the scene. Crazy times in the Sooner State, because both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, with wins today, would both be in the Women's College World Series, and they would both be on the same side of the bracket. Bedlam. There's the 1-0 to Grace Lyons. Junior shortstop from Peoria, Arizona. 14 home runs, 51 runs batted in, and in the last 2 games, she's a .500 hitter.
This is your 6 hole. I know we've been saying it, but it keeps on coming. There isn't that relief of like, okay, we get to some easier batters when you get to the bottom. They all have the pop, the consistency.
Lyons slices that one the opposite way. Tiari Jennings started it with a double, and then Allo and Hansen infield hits. Jennings scoring on a wild pitch for the 1-0 lead.
I do have to say, I think one adjustment, Washington and Gabby Plain and talking about the game yesterday, something that we noticed is how aggressive this offense has been against her. I mean, they are swinging at all pitches. Maybe part of the reason why she had the wild pitch, trying to get everything way out of the zone.
1-2 to Grace.
Well, and to your point, Jess, some really good pitchers, they either freeze you or they chase you. And she's not mixing enough to really freeze Oklahoma, but she is trying to get them to chase. And so that comes with trying to work the edges and run the ball in and out of the zone as quick as possible.
There's a look at the Husky head coach, Heather Tarr, alum, who guided the Huskies to the 2009 National Championship on the arm of Danielle Laurie. A lot of similarities with Laurie and Plain in terms of their mentality and their fight. Two and two. Where'd this miss?
This is a drop ball on the outside corner, just off the dish. And as a pitcher, that's the one you always want.
What's behind that smile right now? Gabby's got that sweet smile. You know there's something else.
Daggers
in her head.
2-2 with 2 on. Shout out to our umpires, by the way, today. Bubba Ewald is behind the plate. Carlos Guzman at first. Megan Rabin at second. Cam Ellison, the third base umpire today.
Another conference. This is the third that we've seen now.
They're making Bubba work. He's doing a lot of walking out to the mound. Great to hear the noise of the crowd again. Something that Washington prepared for. They were jamming music out of their speaker system all week in preparation for the noise.
I love that call. I love 2-2. I know it's a ball, it's a unhittable pitch, but to just change that eye level, we've seen Grace Lyons now foul off and foul off and foul off. When she comes back with the drop, you talk about the setup. After going upstairs, it's usually a much more effective pitch.
Runners will be on the move, 3-2 with 2 outs. Came in at her.
Getting a little sneaky too, showing down at the knees and then tries to sneak a rise ball up underneath the hands. Tight on that inside corner.
Well, so much anticipation about Plain versus this lineup. It has delivered on all counts. Ninth pitch of the at-bat for Grace Lyons. Skies that. Jadlyn Alchin out in center makes the grab, and a couple will be stranded, but 1 run is in for Oklahoma. UW picking up the bats when we come back on ABC. Back here at Oklahoma, and time for the NCAA softball Super Regional starting lineup for the Washington Huskies, brought to you by Capital One. Right there at the top, Sis Bates. She had 2 hits in Friday's game to get her to 319 for her career. That is the most in school history. Looking for some more help today from the 2 run producers right behind her in Bailey Klingler and Morgan Flores. They went hitless and will need to have a bigger impact today against Shannon Sale, who gets the start.
Shannon Sale, the senior coach Gasso says, hey, she's earned it. She's worked really hard. She's given up 42 hits on the year, those 41 walks. She's going to need to limit those. She has power. She's upper 60s, really good movement. She'll throw a rise at the top, curve and screw east and west, but she also has a great changeup, and that's a pitch she's going to need to use today to try to keep that velocity separation and move those pitches through the zone.
She is undefeated on the season, 16-0. A surprise starter yesterday, Nicole May, got the win, went the distance for the Sooners. Holly Rowe checking for us pregame. G. Juarez is good to go if needed. It has been pitch by committee all year long for the Sooners, and it has served them well at 49-2 on the year. Losses just to Oklahoma State and Georgia. Here is Bates, one of the lefty slappers. She'll get right on the chalk, right up close to the plate. Try and drive it down into the dirt for a high hopper, or see if she can slap it over the drawn-in infield to the left side. .450 in the postseason for Sis. One of the greats in Pac-12 history, the grad student trying to extend her career at least one more day, but a must-win for the Huskies this afternoon. Playing in her 36th postseason game. The last 3 years have all ended up with trips to the World Series and at least the national semifinals. 2-2 pitch.
Sis Bates, her 2 hits yesterday, all about location, just feeling out the pitcher, reading the defense. You see her right now, kind of check, scan, see where the holes are. It's an art form that you see a lot of these lefty slappers able to do.
Got her up top, 1 down.
Shannon Sale, this is all about the velo. 69-mile-an-hour rise ball at the top of the zone. She gets it in the eyes of Sis Bates, and she swings right through it. Well-located pitch, wasting it out of the zone. Picks up the strikeout by Chasen Bates.
I'll bring up Bailey Klingler. .415 on the season. She's got power. She's in the 50-50 club, scored 50 runs, drove in 50 runs. And that hit her. First time she has reached in her 4 plate appearances here in the Supers, and a 1-out base runner.
And this is the one area that Sale needs to be careful. She's got 41 walks on the year, hit batters. It's those free passes that can get her in trouble. She's got a whip over 1.
Morgan Flores now, 2-time member of the All Pac-12 team. And another World Series veteran, grad student. Talking to her this week about the challenge of playing the top seed. She said, you know, over the years we have tended to rise up to the big challenges. It started for them on Selection Sunday, the big controversy of being the 16 seed. A lot of the pundits had them in the top 8, some as high as 4 in the country. But the 16 seed gave them a very tough road. And that's why this has more of a Champ Series feel than a Super Regional feel. For the team that finished in second place in the Pac-12 behind UCLA. A lot of folks on the West Coast felt a little disrespected by that. They've won 24 of the 38 national championships as a conference. And this was on the selection show when they saw that they were the 16 seed. They walked out. They were not happy about that at all. And quite frankly, neither was Oklahoma.
No. Well, Patty Gasso said that Washington's problem has become our problem because they had to show up here for the Supers.
Flores sends one into the crowd.
Yeah, these are 2 World Series teams. And Patty Gasso's reaction on Washington's seed. We watched the selection show. We watched Washington walk off. And quite honestly, I'm 100% behind that because I think it was just a rob job, no doubt. You're the number 1 seed. You don't want to face a team as good as Washington until Oklahoma City, until the World Series.
Flores. Getting a lot of looks here against Shannon Sale.
Respecting the power, throwing a lot of change-ups, working with all quadrants.
Well, you got to be careful with her. She's got over 60 career home runs, joining Kristen Rivera and Jamie Clark as the only members of that club at UW. And the punch out for Shannon Sale. 2 down, 2 strikeouts.
Now, how about Shannon Sale throwing the off-speed for the setup and then comes right back with the rise ball down the middle, and Flores just not expecting it. Turns away immediately, knowing that's strike 3.
I don't think she was expecting it to be a strike. I was thinking Sis Bates, the strikeout, remember the rise ball way out of the zone. If I'm Morgan Flores, you want to stay off of that. But that's the talent to me of a rise ball, to be able to throw it for a strike. So you show, yes, this is a meaty pitch. I can keep it in the zone, or I can make it chase 2 feet over your head. That, to me, is a true rise ball.
This is Sammy Reynolds, 3-year starter in the outfield. Sammy broke out of a slump big time yesterday afternoon. One of 2 solo home runs for the Huskies, she and Kelly Lynch. In the 0-2 hole here. Reynolds delivers down the line and left. Riley Boone out there to get it back in. Klingler to second, and a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Simplicity of 2-strike hitting. Just everything was away. This is up in the zone. I love that as a slapper, she keeps her hands high to be able to slap a pitch that's at the very top of the strike zone.
The designated player is Noelle He, the senior from Orange, California. 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, so she's happy to look at a different pitcher, but the ground out here will end the threat. 1 complete. Game 2 of the Supers and a 1-0 Sooner lead.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Well, you are watching the two best defensive teams in the country, Washington and Oklahoma, and they do it a little bit differently. Oklahoma has what Patty Gasso calls a blue-collar, steady shortstop in Grace Lyons, but make no mistake, she's strong and stealthy. And for Washington, they have one of the spark plugs, one of the best in the country we've ever seen at Sis Bates. She uses her speed, her flash, her energy to impact the game from the defensive spot. Guys, I know we've already seen a lot of ground balls put in play. We're going to see some fun defensive plays from these two terrific shortstops today.
Yeah, they are the lights for both the Pac-12 and the Big 12 with the Hardware Defensive Players of the Year. A lot of range, a lot of coverage on that left side of the infield for both these clubs. An absolutely gorgeous day here in Norman, Oklahoma. 70 and sunny, not a cloud to be found. We're playing postseason softball again for the first time in 2 years after the pandemic canceled last season's conclusion. And the fly ball out to left. Sammy Reynolds has it. Nicole Mendez is retired, 1 down. In a 1-0 game here in the top of the second. Third baseman Janet Johns is up next. 0 for 2 yesterday for the transfer from South Carolina. Started a couple of years in the SEC and now taking over at third base this season for the Sooners. Competition has been fierce this year for starting jobs on this Sooner team, this lineup that is so potent at the plate. A couple of freshmen starting, Johns, a newcomer, entering the lineup. They can bring a couple of former All-Americans off the bench as defensive inserts or pinch hitters. That's how deep they are. And the base hit for Johns right back up the middle.
Seeing the simplicity of a ground ball. I mean, Oklahoma, we saw in the open all the home runs, all the big hits, but it's amazing with a pitcher like Gabby playing, if you just put the ball in play. Now see 3 hits, not hit necessarily super hard, but in the right spot, get through.
That's why I think my favorite stat is that they have more home runs than strikeouts this year, which not only speaks to the power, but also their ability to put the ball in play.
And they hit early in counts, you know, so they're aggressive at good pitches early, which sets the defense back, sets pitchers back.
Runner goes, the throw down from Flores, and safe at second is Janet Johns with a stolen base.
Janet Johns running well, 6 stolen base on the year. Flores gets up and hammers over to Sis Bates. Almost looks like she was going to slide past. Switches the hand, the old hand switcheroo slide, gets in.
The old hand switcheroo slide. That's the official term, folks.
Technical. For those of you new to softball.
HSWL.
Beth Mullins, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe. How many gold medals do we have? I forget. Is it
Three.
Three gold medals for the four of us. That's right.
We won't talk
That's
about the white gold.
Oh. Softball back in the Olympics, though, this summer.
Yep.
Team USA.
All of redemption.
That's right, going to Tokyo.
Gabby Plain still has a shot at making the Australian Olympic team as she delivers. Boone does her job of advancing the runner. Top of the order, a runner on third with 2 outs.
That's another thing that Oklahoma does so well. Over 60% of the time they advance runners, so their outs are productive. Just continually getting something every time they give up an out.
Tiare Jennings is the RBI leader in the country this year, and she's got a chance with 2 outs. 84 runs batted in.
Yeah, you've got to get it in on her hands. Tiare Jennings, in her last double, proved how well she can hit anything middle away, off the plate, down. I mean, she can hit everything, but to jam her up because she stays inside the ball so well, it's the only way to eliminate the power.
Chases that one. Of course, you're going to get a lot of good pitches to look at when you've got Jocelyn Alo in the on-deck circle behind you. You'd rather get the out here if you're UW than face the nation's home run leader. That Lauren Chamberlain right over her shoulder there, wearing a Jocelyn Alo jersey, by the way. The former Sooner great, 95 career home runs.
Nice pitch, curve on the outside corner, trying to expand that strike zone.
Nobody has hit more than those two in a single season in a Sooner jersey. 30 is the school record. Alo one away from that. Hit her 29th yesterday. Here's the 2-1 to Jennings.
Gabby Plain getting squeezed early in this game. We've seen now the second time the Gabby Plain with that smile. You know there's more behind that smile. That's a pitch at the knees that she once called against one of the top hitters in the country. You can't give her much more than this. If you're gonna give her a strike, that's about as high as you can get it. That's a strike to me.
Yeah, and that's actually on the white. It's not even in the river. It's not running away. That's a nice pitch.
The river, those spaces between the plate and the batter's boxes that pitchers like Michelle Smith like to nibble on. There you go. Let's send it down to Holly Rowe.
Well, Tiare Jennings has made a great name for herself this season. This freshman for Oklahoma leads the nation in home runs by a freshman. And she's got a great namesake, a very unique, unusual name. It her grandmother's name. Her grandmother passed away from breast cancer. It was her father's mom. She never got to meet her, but she proudly carries her name, and every time she steps into that batter's box, Tiare Jennings carrying that namesake.
A freshman out of San Pedro, California. Her double back in the first inning, extending her hitting streak to 9 games. 14 RBI and 14 runs scored in those 9 games. Draws the walk, 2 on, and here comes Jocelyn Alo. Power personified. Singled in the first. Low and away. How about the home run swing from yesterday?
Jocelyn Allo worked this count to be able to get a pitch up in the zone enough to crush. This thing got out of here so fast. Jocelyn Allo, number 29 on the season.
Same spot, 2-0.
And remember, she struck out looking the at-bat prior yesterday. Allo on the low and away, wanted nothing to do with it. That's where they're thrown her now twice in this at-bat.
30 home runs, the single season Oklahoma record. (3-0). The NCAA record is 37 from Arizona's Laura Espinoza back in the mid-90s.
I don't know, Smitty, green light, red light?
I was just going to ask you, 3-0 green light.
I mean, I'd have
As
a green light in
as
my
can
head.
be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one where you miss the sign if it's red. Caught the corner, 3-1.
Gabby's throwing more curve out there than down. She's not getting the drop ball low in the zone as it leaks from the knee down to the mid-shin.
Janet Johns at third, Tiari Jennings at first with 2 outs. And the bases are loaded for Jada Coleman, who was called out in her first at-bat for stepping out of the batter's box. And now there's a force at any base. Coleman does not just slap, she can swing. 8 home runs, 46 runs batted in. She is 4 for 9 this season with the bases loaded. And a chance for the Sooners to bust it open early. One and 0.
Gabby looks a little uncomfortable to me. You can tell when you're pitching in duress all the time, just your body language. She's missing her pitches. Typically, she would hit that drop ball a little bit more consistently.
Almost hit her. Coleman actually moved out of the way. He says, I won't get hit by a pitch, I want to hit a pitch.
Just see the way Gabby is finishing her pitch. She's pulling across her body. Normally she will stay a little more pure on her snap and pull straight up, so that ball will just attack the corners versus running. That drop ball's now running instead of moving down.
You got to be perfect. I mean, that's what Oklahoma, the pressure that they bring is you cannot make a mistake. She learned that yesterday. It's just so difficult because you're going to make mistakes.
10 of the last 12 pitches have been balls. And there's the strike, 2-1.
Her teammates, I love watching Bailey Klingler, Sis Bates continuing to come over, talk to her, pump her up. We got your back. Get us a ground ball.
2-1 pitch, bases loaded, 2 outs. 3-1. She's already walked 2 in a row.
Bubba Ewald does not like the drop ball behind the plate. That is a pitch he is consistently not called. We've seen it for a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Ball 4, and that walks in a run. 3 straight walks, and Janet Johns touches the plate. 2-0. Jennings to third, Allo to second. Coleman now down at first base, and that'll bring up Kinsey Hansen. Kinsey had one of the more electric plays of the Super Regionals yesterday, a single out to center that got through the legs of Jadlyn Alchin and reached the wall, and Hansen raced all the way around and scored.
No, the bottom of the strike zone is non-existent anymore.
Not happening, nope.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because Gabby is a pitcher that typically hammers that lower half of the zone more than the rise ball.
That was Brooke Nelson you just saw warming up in the pen. They had Pat Moore up earlier, and now Pat is back on her feet. There's a strike. So Gabby, after the problems down low, comes up in the zone.
And that's what we've seen on the reverse. Shannon Sale for Oklahoma really using her rise ball, getting the top of the strike zone called consistently. It's just the bottom, which doesn't fare well for a drop ball pitcher in Gabby Plain.
Hansen just missed it. Fouls it straight back. A single and 3 walks in the inning. A run across for Oklahoma. So they've scored their 2 runs now on a free pass and a wild pitch. Hansen missed it. Oh, did they? And
Flores dropped the ball.
Flores dropped the ball.
The first base was occupied, so it should be a strikeout.
And Patty Gasso's arguing that it was a tip. And so the umpires will come together.
If it's a drop third strike and it's not tipped, and first base is occupied, it's a strikeout. That did not look tipped to me. That should be a strikeout.
Now you could see between the ball and the bat.
I thought it did get the bottom of the ball on that other view.
Only 2 people know.
Yep. Right. Yes. Oh boy. Now they are going to call her out. Strike 3. Bases left loaded, but a run is in. 2-0 Oklahoma. And we'll be back with more action after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
It's gonna be. This is the party that every player wants to be at. It's gonna be passionate softball for sure.
Back to crown a national champion for the first time since 2019.
They get to chase history here.
Then we get underway next Thursday, June 3rd at noon Eastern in the newly renovated Hall of Fame Stadium. All day long on ESPN, our quadruple header to open up the Women's College World Series. You can get seats in that new upper deck, folks. NCAA.com/WCWS to get your tickets. 100% capacity. Just up the road a pace from Marita Hines Field here in Norman, and the Super Regionals Game 2, best of 3. Florida State and Georgia have already advanced with upsets of LSU and Florida. If Oklahoma wins today, they are in. The other game going on right now, Alabama currently leading Kentucky 4-1. If that stays that way, then the Crimson Tide would punch a ticket. Oklahoma State and Texas about to join the party on ESPN, top of the hour. Kelly Lynch, a home run hitter from game 1 yesterday. It's 6, 7, 8 in the lineup. And Shannon Sale has her 3rd strikeout. How about a studio update? Chris Budden, Jen Schroeder. Thank you, ladies. That is a stunner. How about them Dogs who lost 10 of their last 11 games in the regular season, limped into the postseason, and boy, did they answer the bell. Upsetting Duke in the regionals and now upsetting Florida in the Supers.
And one of only 2 teams to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Gave Oklahoma the first loss. So they have been magnificent, and then they've struggled, and they've reemerged them to magnificent again.
First unseeded team to reach the World Series since 2012. So a party crasher will be in attendance. JMU and Virginia Tech, the other 2 unseeded teams that are still alive, playing later tonight. JMU 1-0 in their series with Missouri. Virginia Tech even with UCLA. There's your unseeds since we moved to Super Regionals and the seeding format in 2005. South Florida and LSU were both there in 2012. Mary Wilson Avant, wow, has some of the biggest wins in the country this year. Beating Florida a couple of times, beating Oklahoma. Fabulous job by Sweet Lou and her coaching staff getting the Dogs ready. These Dogs are trying to make some noise. Nothing doing so far against Shannon Sale. What you got for us, Holly Rowe?
Well, just talking about JMU and those unseeded teams, they got the win last night. They are currently the hottest team in America, 28-game winning streak. And in the circle, Odyssey Alexander moves to 15-0 on the season. They are must-watch television. James Madison, just wanted to give them a shout-out because just appreciate what they've been doing, and they are literally on fire.
Yeah, they are, Holly Rowe. In fact, Odyssey Alexander, one of the best rise balls in the business. When she throws toward the top of the zone, explosive. She is fun to watch.
Wow, Shannon Sales trying to compete with her right now.
She is. and you're going to love this, Jess, that Alexander, she's a unicorn. She hits
Yes.
too.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay.
Nobody loves swinging at rise balls more than Jessica Mendoza.
Yes, I appreciate a good rise ball. That's why I swing at all of them. I ask you this, though. We're calling them unicorns, these hitting pitchers, but they're everywhere now. So are they really a unicorn? Do we need to come up with a new name? Because it was so rare. Amanda Scarborough, Michelle Smith, I mean, you never saw, Lisa Fernandez. That's why they were the greats, right? Because they were the few that could do it. And now it feels like this is the trend, and I love it.
Willis, opposite field. And back to the track to make the catch is Mendez. A 1-2-3 inning for Shannon Sale and the Sooners. And a 2-0 lead in the Norman Super Regional.
Nicole Mendez knowing where the wall is, finding the spin, making the grab for the 3rd out for the Sooners.
We were playing softball in February here in Clearwater. The amount of great matchups that we had, great teams here, unparalleled. We have some of the best talent in the country.
The best ticket, the hardest ticket to get in town.
If you are a softball fan, this is a place that you want to be.
Looking forward to getting back to the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson next February. The breaking news here in Norman is a pitching change. Gabby playing 50 pitches over 2 innings. Huskies trailing 2-0, and they will turn to Pat Moore on in relief. Moore, just her 15th appearance of the season, only 28 innings of work, Michelle, but the last time we saw her, she was throwing a no-hitter in the regional.
Yeah, she's a lefty, and she will move the ball through the zone. Has that typical lefty movement. That's going to be a curve away from the lefties into the righties. She mixes a changeup. But it's that drop curve. She can really bend that into righties and away from lefties and do some ground balls. That's really what Washington needs right now.
5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. 3 hits in the first inning and a run scored on a wild pitch. Just 1 hit in the second inning, but 3 straight walks that brought in a run. And Gabby Plain was just not getting the drop ball called low. And so they make the change here to Pat Moore.
I like the move because Gabby Plain, I mean, her bread and butter, her game, yes, she's got a rise ball, but she is known for her drop and the way that she can locate it at the bottom of the zone. If that pitch is not getting called, she cannot bring it up any higher because Oklahoma will crush them. You could tell the frustration. So I think making this pitching move, especially after seeing so much of Gabby, is a good one.
That no-hitter was against Seattle last weekend when they desperately needed a win to get out of the loser's bracket, and they came back to beat Michigan twice on Sunday. It was the first postseason start for a Husky pitcher in 5 years that was not Gabby Plain or Taryn Alvello. They're 2 aces. And she delivered big time. Plain's day, by the way, may not be done. The re-entry rules in softball, if the Huskies can keep it close or even grab a lead, they could still go back to her. (3-2) to Talon Snow, and the grounder to first, Kelly Lynch, 1 down.
And that's all they need from Pat Moore. They just need the velo that's in the mid-60s, her ability to mix speeds, locate it, and ground balls.
Chamber of Commerce Day here at Marita Hines Field. Very pleasant, 70 degrees. Bright sunshine. It is a must-win situation today for Washington to force a Game 3 winner-take-all tomorrow. As it stands right now, 2-0 Sooners would be good enough to get them into the Women's College World Series. Grace Lyons flew out to center in the first.
I see you, Pat Moore, starting off Grace Lyons with the changeup and then coming into the kitchen right after that. I know we look a lot at lefties and how deceptive and hard they can be against left-handed batters, but they get in on righties, or when they can get in, that's when they are extremely effective.
You got her to pop it up. Taryn Atlee, 2 down.
And to your point, Jess, so she starts with a changeup, comes in with that curve, right, effective velocity. It makes it look that much faster, and then goes back to the changeup again, induces the pop-up.
When it's so important too. This is a big moment for Pat and a Husky program that has really prided itself. Obviously they can recruit nationwide, but they love the kids from the Pacific Northwest out of Medford, Oregon. Chance of a lifetime right here to keep the Huskies in it. Against one of the most intimidating lineups in college softball history. They have home runs in 49 of their 51 games. They had 13 home runs in their season opener. Talk about a hello. They have a 33-run game against New Mexico. And in the region final, after falling behind 4-0 to Wichita State, they ended up winning 24-7 with an 8-run inning and a 10-run inning in the same game.
That was such a fun game to watch because personally I'm a fan of offense. That had a whole lot from both sides. I mean, Wichita State, you look at the final score, but they scored 12 runs against OU over the course of last weekend. Oklahoma had 50, but it was a whole lot of offense.
Well, and what makes it even more rewarding and more special for Patty Gasso is that guy right there, her son JT, is in charge of this offensive juggernaut. I know you were fascinated by the fact they have a sign-in sheet in the dugout.
I literally, when they told us this week, we were on a Zoom call, and you always hear about batters. We did it all the time. You tell other hitters, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This curveball looks like this. Watch out for the changeup. They have a sheet in the dugout where you can write your own scouting report after you're at bat, and then you sign it with your initials. So as a lefty, I'm looking at whatever other left-handed batter is doing.
It's a very visual generation. They like to see it. So a 2-out base runner, what you got, Holly Rowe?
Well, you guys were talking about that epic series against Wichita State and Oklahoma. How about this? One of the Wichita State players hit a home run in that game, one of many, I think 12 or 13 that were hit on that weekend. And a great Oklahoma fan found that ball in the outfield and mailed it to her. Look at this cute card and this note. It was in the mail, sent to the Wichita State softball team. And so Neely got her home run game ball back, thanks to a great Sooner fan. Now that is sportsmanship, and that is great Sooner softball.
I love that handwritten note on the index card. Hopefully we can say hi the next time you come to Norman. Great crowds here, great environment.
The fact that this state also just down the road hosts the Women's College World Series. So many softball fans in these parts. I love it.
Yeah, USA Softball Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Just, a lot of history in our sport in the state of Oklahoma.
Janet Johns singled in the second, stole a base, and eventually came around to score on the back-to-back-to-back walks. That one in the dirt. Mendez over into scoring position.
Great base running. I know we see the ball skirt away from Morgan Flores, so you assume a runner's going to go, but you have to react at the ball in the dirt. And I've seen from both of these sides, we talk about the home runs and the power, the base running, taking an extra base when it's given to you. It's huge, and Oklahoma does a great job of it.
Two-one pitch to Janet Johns. 2-2. Sooners are 2 for 7 with a runner in scoring position today. Have yet to drive in a run. The 2 scores, a walk, and a wild pitch, bringing them home. Full count. Janet Johns, deep fly ball, way back and gone. Two-run home run doubles the score for the Sooners.
Every hitter in this inning has worked the count, the foul balls that we've seen, just the amount of pitches wasted. Give me another one. Waste another one until you get the pitch. This is like center cut, put it on a tee, right down the middle of the plate, but it's the pitches that Janet Johns wasted to get to that pitch off of Pat Moore to drive it and crush it to put Oklahoma 2 runs more up.
th of the season for Johns. one of 6 Sooners with double-digit home runs on the season, and that looked like Gabby Plain was getting active again. A curtain call for Janet Johns. So add one more to the tally. The Rainbow Wahine back in 2010, Hawaii hit 156. Oklahoma is now at 144 as they continue to chase the all-time single-season home run record. It started so innocently. The 2-out walk to Mendez. Got over to second base on a wild pitch. And then pow from Janet Johns. Mackenzie Donahue, those weren't boos, those were whoos for the sophomore from Mustang, Oklahoma. She is the pinch hitter here in the 9 spot. Two for 6 in the NCAA tournament. She was the starter out in left field yesterday.
It's not too bad when you have a pinch hitter coming off the bench that hits 434. I mean, the riches in that dugout for Oklahoma and Patty Gasso. And that's what she says. You know, she's like, I have something for everything. You have a left-handed pitcher, I can put in this. You have a rise ball pitcher, I can put in that. I mean, she's got a formula for everything.
And the strikeout for Moore to end the inning, but the big bop from Janet Johns at a 4-0 lead to the bottom of the 3rd.
Janet Johns taking a 3-2 pitch on the outer half and sending it out of the yard. Sooners up by 4, and they're celebrating.
Wild ride for the Sooners, champs in 2016. And then they did it again the following year. The 17-inning affair won by Shea Knighton's home run. The page turners in the circle, Parker and Lowry, as the Sooners went back-to-back for their 3rd and 4th national champs. And they are the top seed looking for a 5th this year. UCLA has the most titles, 12 of them. Arizona with 8, and then the Sooners with 4. Legendary coach Sharon Backus, 7 of those 12 titles for UCLA. Mike Candrea, all 8 of them. It is the 30th anniversary, by the way, of Coach Candrea's first ever title. It is the 20th anniversary of the Jenny Finch undefeated season at Arizona. And one of those ASU national championships, that was 10 years ago. The first freshman to ever win the final, Dallas Escobedo. As we get set to head to Oklahoma City for the 39th Women's College World Series. The Sooners 1 win away. Washington needs to win today and tomorrow. Jadlyn Alchin gives this one a launch. Back to the wall. Donahue looked like she got a glove on it and it popped out. And Jadlyn Alchin, the 9-hitter, with the leadoff double.
Remember, Donahue just into this game. Riley Boone started in left field for the Sooners. Donahue came in to pinch hit, and here she turns the wrong way, so has to get returned, hits the wall, and she makes that grab. If she doesn't hit the wall, she does everything you should. She gets her arm out, but that little hit allows her glove to move enough, fall right out.
And now the top of the order. They had the tying run on base in the 7th inning yesterday, and a double play with the final out recorded at home plate ended the threat. And Sis Bates was on deck. They were trying to get it back to the top of the order and couldn't. Bates pops it up in foul territory and into the corner. Here, this is the part of the lineup, though, that's got to deliver, and this is what happened yesterday to end the game.
Tried to turn the double play, coming home. On the last minute, you see that Heather Tarr sends Taryn Atlee. A lot of times you see that work, you see them catch a team off guard, they throw it away and score. But to your point, Beth, it was the 7th inning, ended up making the last out at home plate with their best hitters. Sis Bates coming up to bat.
It's Bates, Klingler, and Flores here in the bottom of the 3rd now, trying to make some noise. Right back to Sale, only plays to first. They get Bates. Alchin to 3rd. Klingler over 50 RBI. Morgan Flores over 50 RBI. Next 2 coming up.
These are the 2 batters. Both of them coming up. Bailey Klingler had many opportunities yesterday. They're the best power hitters in this lineup. This is who you want up with a runner in scoring position.
Hit by a pitch in the 1st. There were a lot of Oklahoma base runners the last couple of innings. It has been a while of actual time on your watch since Klingler and Flores had a bat in hand.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, 0 for 6 yesterday between the 2 and 3 hitters for Washington. A couple weak pop-ups, just not good quality at-bats. That's what you're looking for here.
The off-speed, I was talking to JT D'Amico right before this game about Bailey Klingler, what he saw with her, and he said they just gave her so much off speed, the respect, but her timing was off because she didn't get anything faster than 60 miles an hour.
2-2. Waits on it and delivers, and a run will score off the bat of Bailey Klingler, and it's 4-1.
I know we've pointed out pitch location on the Oklahoma side. Look at where this off-speed pitch lands. It's down around the ankles, and look at the swing. Again, her lower half is sold out, but her upper half is able to stay with this off-speed enough. She saw a heavy dose of it yesterday. She was ready for it today.
'53rd RBI for Bailey Klingler. And Flores, who struck out looking at a rise ball in the 1st. I think she's seen nothing but strikes, 5 strikes so far. Swings at that one. Out to Mendez. 2 down. Sammy Reynolds singled to left, a nice little blooper down the line in the 1st inning. Inside corner for a strike. Home run ball yesterday.
Smoked this pitch, middle away, got into a great hitter's count to get Washington on the board. They were quiet up until this point. Solo shot.
Heather Tarr has loved her progression, says she is a legit hitter, has really worked hard on her game. Excelled at the World Series 2 years ago, member of the All-World Series team. Down 0-2. Missed away. 4 hits for Sammy in her last 3 games.
She swings it. She does not get cheated.
blocked in the dirt, but it's squirted away from Hansen. So Klingler over to second. And an RBI opportunity here.
I love that Oklahoma fans want this called from the other batter's box. Sammy Reynolds doing a nice job working this count back to full after she was down 0-2.
Got her. High heat for the strikeout and the emotion of Shannon Sale. And a 4-1 lead. Holly Rowe will visit with Heather Tarr on the other side.
You are watching the NCAA Super Regionals on ESPN and ABC, presented by Capital One. I'm here with Washington head coach Heather Tarr. And Coach Tarr, Gabby Plain just wasn't getting that call low in the zone, and now you've made a pitching change. Kind of what factors went into that?
I just thought it might be a good time to give Gabby a rest, and there's no question we might use her later in the game.
Yeah, I saw her go out to the bullpen, so she might come back in, you saying?
Yep.
Absolutely. What can you do to get to Shannon Sale a little bit with your hitters? Finally got a run on the board.
Yeah, I think we already did. Just being able to see it. We've never seen her before, so being able to put some at-bats together is what we're trying to do, and we did it that inning, so we're proud to be able to answer and keep going.
Thank you, Coach.
Hi, Mom.
Thank you very much, Holly. As she has been doing throughout this postseason, Heather Tarr, a hello to her mom, Artie. And what has been a difficult year, obviously, for all of us through the pandemic, some more than others. And for Heather Tarr, her parents, softball has meant the world to them, being a part of this team. Holly Rowe was one of their great joys.
Yeah, and it has been a very difficult year for Heather Tarr and her family. She lost her beloved father, Vic, who was my buddy, too. He would stand in the stands and cheerlead for this team. He was at the World Series, a huge fixture. He passed away in July, and I know her mom, Artie, is watching today. Hey, Artie, they love you so much. All of the players wearing your initials on their visors. They're wearing, yesterday they wore blue ribbons in support of her. And it's just been really tough, but they wanted to say, hey, Artie, and they love you, and you have been a huge part of this family.
Oh, she's a fighter just like her daughter, and has passed that on to this team. And our best wishes to Artie as well. Huskies are looking for a comeback. They're down 4-1 as we move to the top of the fourth in a must-win situation today. And as Heather told Holly, it's still all hands on deck. Could still see more of Gabby Plain, who got the start today. Maybe in the starting lineup this summer for the Australian Olympic team. She's staying loose. A run in the first, one in the second, two more in the third on the Jana Johns home run. And Tiari Jennings at the top of the order is on base for the third time. A double and a couple of walks, and here again comes Jocelyn Alo. A single and a walk for her today. And we would like to welcome those of you who may have just witnessed the Alabama Crimson Tide eliminate Kentucky. Roll Tide roll into the World Series in Oklahoma City. And we will take a break right here with the pitching change for UW. Gabby Plain returns after this.
Gabby Plain re-enters the game, and in the start, every pitch that she has given up the hit on has been the drop ball low in the zone. Oklahoma obviously with a game plan to look low off of Gabby Plain. We'll see if she comes in and starts using that rise ball a little bit more effectively and working up in the zone and mixing speed. So those 4 hits all off drop balls. Sooners making great adjustments from yesterday.
It's a 3 walks, too, that I circle. I mean, yes, the hits, but they're ground balls. I mean, that's what you're going to do when you're a drop ball pitcher. It was just the fact that she was not getting the calls and unable to adjust against this offense. I mean, it's hard to then bring the ball a little bit higher into that zone that these hitters can crush.
She left after 2 innings, so Pat Moore started out the 3rd, and Holly Rowe was keeping an eye on her down there in the bullpen. Holly reporting that Gabby was busy most of the time just trying to fine-tune things a little bit, so let's see how she looks on her return. And hello, you better be fine-tuned against Jocelyn Alo. Those numbers flirting with a national triple crown. Best batting average, home runs, runs batted in. Just shy of the BA and the RBI. She is atop the leaderboard in home runs, and she has just tied the Oklahoma single season school record with number 30.
You think she was ready for Gabby Plain to return to this game? How about the first pitch? She comes out, she's got a zone she's looking for. She opens up that front side, but uses that back side to meet the ball. She knows it. 2 steps out, finger up in the air. Home run number 30.
Her second of the Super Regionals and number 84 in her career. So 30 home run seasons, twice for Chamberlain and twice for Jallow.
Is that her new nickname?
It is now. Beth Moen says it. Jallows all around.
I mean, you talk about just the confidence and the first pitch swinging. She just looks so comfortable up there. She's having so much fun this year. The tremendous growth.
And remember, that outside pitch is what Gabby Plain struck her out on her first at-bat in yesterday's game. Then she came inside, she hit the home run down the left field line. This one's on the outside corner, makes the adjustment and hits it out oppo.
Tim Kewen wrote a great piece on ESPN.com diving into the background of Jocelyn Alo, her 4 years at Oklahoma. Her struggles sitting out sophomore year to come back to this. See the location of this one. A little high for Plain. Usually she likes that pitch lower, but gosh, Jocelyn Alo. There's nothing she can't hit.
Jada Coleman with 2 runs in and nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Remember, they are the visitors today in game 2. But when we spoke to them earlier this week, and you know, what have you worked on with JT Gasso, and Mendez talked about trust and timing, and TJ talked about game planning, having a plan when you step in the box. And for Alo, it was take a deep breath and relax and let everything else just disappear. And the purity of that swing. Tap to third, Klingler has it, 1 down. How about a studio update with Chris Budden and Jen Schroeder? That's huge for Kilfoyle. Boy, that is massive for Lexi Kilfoyle, returning from the injury. And a couple of postseason wins. Congratulations to the Crimson Tide. 2019, they were in the national semis. Got knocked out by this Oklahoma side. And there goes another one. Off the bat of Kinsey Hansen. 3rd home run of the game.
And how about Kinzie Hansen coming up that number 4 spot? So much power. 21st home run of the season. These Sooners can hit. Pitch on the outer half, rise ball, and she just elevates it, gets this out of the yard. And her teammate, Jocelyn Alla, loves it.
They've had that reaction now 146 times this year. And they're calling for Hansen to take a curtain call. And she will. Taylon Snow with one down. Just got underneath that one. Alchin threw away.
Amazing. As soon as the ball goes in the air now, the fans, everyone got to their feet on that ball that was a pop fly, and I get it, it went deep to center field, but now the fans are, they know this home run crazed 146, 7 of them now?
46, 146, so they're 12 shy of the all-time record for a single season. And just the variety, 1 through 9, they can all go yard. Grace Lyons, a fly out and a pop-up today. Patty Gasso calls it the championship mindset. They spent part of the pandemic, like all of us, binging on The Last Dance last spring, the great Michael Jordan documentary. Competing at everything they do, every day in practice. They take note. They put themselves in what Nicole Mendez called championship innings. You got a 3-2 count. You got to get a runner in from second. You got to lay down a sacrifice. All kinds of different situationals. If you don't like the pressure, this ain't the place for you, says Mendez. And that's how they roll. And it's been tremendously successful.
Oh, they bust the floodgates open. This is the 18th game that they have hit 2 or more home runs in a game, so just ability to pile it on. Never take that foot off the gas pedal. Love the pressure in the environment.
31st time this season that they've hit multiple home runs in the same inning.
Yeah.
You're lucky to have in the same game.
And the strike to Lyons ends the inning, but a couple of long balls, Jess Mendoza, and a 7-1 lead.
Jocelyn Allo hitting home run number 3-0, followed by Kinzie Hansen, and the Sooners up 7-1.
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. I am here with Oklahoma head coach Patty Gasso. And Coach, you told me in November when I saw you, this team was special and they were going to be really good. What did you see then and how are they paying it off now?
Hard work, discipline, hustle, love to compete. I had a lot of people at different positions that were just battling each other, which made them great. A lot of strength, a lot of conditioning, just great competitors that love to swing the bat, love to play defense. It's fun to watch, fun to coach.
It is fun to watch. Coach, 2 home runs in that inning. What is it about the long ball? Why are they so good at making that adjustment and getting those runs?
I think JT works really well. JT Gasso works really well with them, getting in their legs, and really they have good plans, and you can see that when they're at the plate. They really talk a lot in the dugout, share their plans with each other, so it's just a team effort completely.
As you look around at this sold-out crowd, how proud are you of what you've built here?
It's tremendous. I just don't make me think about it, but they're so much big part of this game, the momentum, and I'm seeing the crew out in the outfield. That warms my heart as well. So we're loving it. We're having a blast.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. That's the Home Run Village. They don't even have tickets to the ball game, folks. They just want to be around the yard. They got their coolers out there and their chairs and big screens. And the Home Run Village has been treated to 3 home runs off of Sooner bats today. Janet Johns, Jocelyn Allo, and Kinsey Hansen as they continue their assault on the single-season record books, a dominating postseason performance, which has now seen them in 5 games score 61 runs, outscoring their opponents 61-15. Noelle He to start things off. Bottom 4th for Washington. Grounded out in the first.
I was going to say, they need to start giving like free pizzas, free something every time a home run is hit. But any business, anyone would go out of business if that was the case over in the Home Run Village. But all those fans, that's when it's real. It reminds me of Wrigley Field, where you see on the tops of buildings, you know, just any way that you can see a game, see history right in front of you.
Shannon Sale, will she get the opportunity to do what Nicole May did yesterday? They've been tag teaming a lot of their games with the pitching staff. Nicole got the complete game win yesterday. And Shannon Sale, the rise ball has been humming. 4 strikeouts. Tried to get He to chase there.
Sale has 4 complete games on the year. That was May's first complete game. So it is interesting, depending on how you like to use the arms. And I think if you can let him go, you do. So at this point in the season, if you can get all 7 innings.
He draws the walk to lead things off here. Oh, we've got a couple of NBA playoff game 3s headed your way tonight on ESPN, ESPN Deportes and the app. It is the Sixers and the Wiz at 7 Eastern. Phillies up 2-zip. And then even at 1, the Grizz and Ja Morant. And the Jazz and Donovan Mitchell. First round coverage tonight on ESPN. Madison Husky is the pinch runner here. Beth Mowins, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, our 2 Olympic gold medalists up in the booth. Holly Rowe is with us this afternoon as well on our landmark broadcast. The first time college softball on ABC on the road to the Women's College World Series. Every pitch from every game on the ESPN networks, starting with our quadruple header on Thursday. Florida State, Georgia, and Alabama have all punched their tickets. 8 teams headed just up the road to Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. Kelly Lynch, a strikeout victim, back in the second. Pitch. Grounded to Jennings, the flip to Lyons, over to Snow, double play.
It's so easy to talk about the offense for Oklahoma and the numbers they put up, but it's also this defense behind this pitching staff that is just outstanding. Tiare Jennings is going to flip this ball over to Grace Lyons, to Snow for the double play. So smooth, so effortless.
Best fielding percentage in the country. And they turn to their Taryn Atlee.
The double play is rare in softball, but what is also rare is a double play turned where the runner running down the first baseline is thrown out by 4 or 5 feet. That's how quick they were able to turn that.
This is the left side of the bracket. The Georgia Bulldogs, the first unseeded team in 9 years to reach the World Series. They upset Florida. Oklahoma State, James Madison, and Oklahoma all 1 win away from a berth. The winner of this regional would face either JMU or Missouri Thursday's opener. Possibility that Georgia would meet up with Oklahoma State. There are several former Georgia Bulldogs who transferred and are now Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Possible intrigue awaits. Alabama beating Kentucky today. They would face either Arizona or Arkansas, and Florida State awaits the winner of that UCLA-Virginia Tech showdown tonight. Called strike 3, that's number 5 for Shannon Sale. Little D and a little strikeout ball, and we'll be back with more action after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Oh, they've had that feeling all year long in Norman, Oklahoma. The top-seeded Sooners, 49-2 on the year. And they have the 7-1 lead over Washington as we head to the 5th. Needing just 1 win today, and they are on to the Women's College World Series. 3 home runs, Jana Johns, Jocelyn Allo, and Kinsey Hansen doing the damage. 7, 8, 9 in the order here to face Gabby Plain. Nicole Mendez flew out to center in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 3rd. Nicole, the last link to that 2017 National Championship. Phenomenal freshman year. She was on the All-World Series team. Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Said this group is very similar to that one. Really smart at-bats. Nowhere to hide in their lineup, 1 through 9. Said the big difference this year, the power. 146 home runs.
That's some power.
That's some power.
It's decent.
It's a little pop.
And the way they do it with the average as well.
Yeah.
Normally you sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah.
Normally your strikeouts would maybe be up, your average would be down. No, not this team. Strikeouts are down, batting average is up, home runs out of the yard.
I think that's the difference between softball and baseball. The biggest difference is I think you do have to sacrifice sometimes to get power to be able to hit it out. In softball, we see, the 5'4" Sammy Reynolds or the 6'2". It doesn't matter the size. There's so many abilities. The bats, the swings. You don't have to shorten up.
No. Three-0 pitch. In for a strike.
I know Holly Rowe talked earlier about Sis Bates, the shortstops that we get to see. I'm just watching Sis Bates on the field right now, and I mean, she is constantly talking to every one of her teammates. She's in Gabby Plain's ear. She has not stopped, and in fact, I think she's going to dig a hole in the amount of ground she's covering running around this field. And we can talk all about the leadership that you'll see. I mean, Oklahoma, what they bring, but I love watching a team when they are down and you're looking at the last games for potentially some of these Husky players, and they don't stop. Because it's easy when you're up and you got the big hit, but when you're down and your team needs you and you still have innings left to play, that's a leader.
3-2 pitch. Base knock. Mendez turning and heading for second, sliding in with a double. How about a studio update? Chris Budden, Jen Schroeder. Boy, that's really good news for fans here in the state of Oklahoma. The Sooners and the Pokes right now on pace for 2 of the 8 spots in Oklahoma City. Janet Johns singled and scored in the second, and the 2-run home run in the third.
Well, Beth, back to your point, too, about Oklahoma State. Oklahoma in general, as a state, is a great softball community, and have been since the 80s. Hall of Fame Stadium, USA Softball, the support of the national teams, the collegiate teams.
Well, we see playing some success high in the zone. 0-2.
Little of what Shannon Sales doing on the reverse, that low rise, the top of the strike zone.
Johns protects.
This is what she did her last at bat. She ended up homering, and I talked about just wasting pitches. She's got 2 strikes. She's in the hole. She knows she can't take anything else. So you kind of spoil as a hitter. It's hard to do. I mean, you're not intentionally. You want to drive everything, but you see a pitch that's borderline, and you waste it. You get something, try to get something in the zone that you can drive.
Buzz the tower, 1-2.
And you can always tell as a pitcher, you might fool someone on one pitch, you go back to it, but this Oklahoma team adjusts so well that you fool them once, you don't fool them the second time.
Johns, Alchin out in center. 1 down. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, we saw Nicole Mendez. You talked about her being the lone holdover from that 2017 national championship team, but she's had to fight to stay on this team. Freshman year, a foul ball to the ankle. She was in a boot for 3 weeks. Her junior year, a ground ball to her face that shattered her cheekbone, and she was out for 4 months. And then senior year, tore her ACL and started to come back just 5 months later. Then COVID hit. She has gone through so much to stay on this team and be a part of Oklahoma softball. She's now working towards a graduate degree, one of the first in her family to graduate from college. And you talk about the leadership of Nicole Mendez. From her resilience alone, her example she has set for everyone on this team, her leadership is so true.
Tremendous story, Holly, and the job that Nicole Mendez did. You know, she came in after that fabulous class that was a big part of their back-to-back national championships. Sid Romero, Shay Knighton, Kaylee Clifton, Fale Aviu.
Well, it's a lot of the success where there's Sydney Romero. Her sister also was on the team after her. And, you know, so, but it's interesting how Patty continually just reloads.
Yeah, and now this incredible freshman class having a major impact. Lindsey Elam, the pinch hitter here in the 9 spot in the lineup. There's a hard hit ball. Mendez headed for home. Elam slides into second with the run scoring double.
The bench players for Oklahoma, we've seen that now in the 9 spot. You talked about it earlier, the last pinch hitter, Mackenzie Donahue coming in with a 400 hitter. Lindsey Elam, 375. She's got 12 home runs on the season, just comes off the bench. This pitch low and away, she gets around it to pull this deep enough. And we're seeing that cycle where these runners are aggressive, putting a little bit of nerves on the outfield. Always looking to get that extra base.
Eight to 1 Oklahoma, and now Elam, a very important run out at second base because that would bring the run rule into effect in the bottom half of the inning and force Washington to come up with something to continue the game. Tiare Jennings and the top of the order. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe with you. We'd like to welcome those of you that just watched Chelsea defeat Man City for the UEFA Champions League trophy. Our very first college softball game on ABC. An Oklahoma win, and they are on to the World Series. Jennings, a double and a couple of walks, 2 runs scored. Elam, by the way, lifted for the pinch runner. Riley Boone re-enters and is out there at second. Two-two to Jennings.
Just such good bat control. Sets the tone in that leadoff spot. Both games led off with a double, and just hard to retire. Yes, pitch a curveball right, running away from her. Just ability to get rid of it, to barrel it up enough to get rid of it, to stay alive. Oh, and she's a freshman, by the way.
Oh, what a postseason debut for Jennings and Coleman. And Nicole May, who got the win yesterday. And got Jennings 2 down. So what to do with Jocelyn Alo? First pitch she saw from Gabby Plain in the 4th. She sent it out for her 30th home run of the season.
Such simple power, too, and that's the biggest thing I've seen with Jocelyn Alo. She has been the player from first day one, that's always had the power, always had the ability. But now just the understanding. Understanding of the strike zone, understanding of exactly where her body needs to be. Look at the home run earlier today. Look at how front foot is open, but the barrel, head, hands, and eyes all to the ball. It's the backside. That back knee taking her where the ball needs to go. She stays open in that stance. It's very unique. It allows her to clear those hips to get her power into the zone she needs to.
Strike there, 1-1. As Lauren Chamberlain looks on. No bigger cheerleader, by the way, for the woman who is about to break her career home run record in all likelihood next year. And may take the school's single season mark if she continues at this clip and they move on to the World Series.
How about that ring? I always wonder, you know, you get rings for winning championships. Clearly Chamberlain has hers.
That's some strong drip right there.
Yeah. Like, where do you wear them? Well, apparently you wear them when you're supporting your team. Dang, that's some bling.
Alo waits on it and gets the base hit, and another run comes in. Hits it where you ain't, whether it's beyond the fence or just beyond the dirt infield.
Pitch on the outside corner that leaks up and into the zone and just gets enough of it. It's all about timing. Just barrels it up, gets it over Sis Bates' head, dumps it out onto the green, picks up another big RBI. Third of the game. Riley Boone scoring.
She just lets it get so deep, and you hear that talked about all the time, but we saw on the home run her hitting it off that back leg, and even there she gets jammed because she's comfortable with her strength waiting until that late, knowing she's got the power to get it off the handle and hit it in fine grass. So many hitters get anxious and they get ahead. You see it all the time. That's why the off speed is so effective. But Alo has learned and grown. I mean, I feel like the mom being like, but we've seen her over the last 4 years, 5.
Let's send it to Holly.
Well, guys, it's good you feel like the mom, but the real credit goes to her dad, Levi, who would pitch to her 1,000 swings a day growing up in Hawaii. They would break it up into 2 different sessions, 500 pitches each time. So she has that pitch recognition. She has that swing, that natural swing ability. And it came from all of those long, hard, difficult sessions. And I really credit her dad. She said, I wouldn't be here without him today. And she's so proud. Every time she hits a home run, she's like, that's for Dad.
Well, she talked about even, you know, as early as middle school, having a vision that she could be doing this one day, and to be able to live that out. It's been a real trip for Jocelyn, and you guys talk about the growth, not just from one season to the next, one at-bat, one pitch to the next. First time she faced Gabby Plain yesterday, struck out looking at a drop ball. She has reached base 6 times in a row since then with 2 home runs. And 4 runs batted in. With Riley Boone scoring, it is 9-1, so the run rule is in effect. If you're up by 8 through 4.5 at-bats, or for Washington, the home team, they would now have 1 more at-bat in the bottom half of this inning. They would need to get a run in to extend the game. And of course, the Sooners may not be done yet. Base hit Jada Coleman. Gotso all the way around to third.
So many ground balls have found their way through this infield, and a lot of times, you know, you look at positioning. I've been watching their middle infielders especially pinch towards the line. So that middle of the field has been wide open, and we've seen Oklahoma take advantage. Not necessarily hard hit balls, but just hitting them where they're not.
Seven of the 9 in the order have a base hit. Hansen is one of the 3 with a home run. Also singled in the first. 1-1 to Hansen. Sophomore from Norco, California, was the Big 12 tournament MVP with 5 home runs and 8 runs batted in. That was up in Oklahoma City at Hall of Fame Stadium, where they are hoping to return in a couple days' time to play at the Women's College World Series, which will get underway Thursday at noon with a quadruple header on ESPN. Hansen, not quite enough of it. Reynolds has it. And the side is retired. Washington down to their last 3 outs, need a run to extend the game, and a 9-1 Sooner lead.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One, and our very first college softball game ever on ABC. And for the Washington Huskies, time is short. The run rule is in effect, so they need a run to extend this game. Shannon Sale's been terrific in the circle.
Oh, she's used all of her pitches at the top of the zone. Her velocity up near 69, 70 miles an hour, mixing some speeds as well. But that rise ball at the top of the zone has really been hopping. Shannon Sale getting it done. 5 big strikeouts on the afternoon, giving up just 3 hits and 1 run.
Alabama, Florida State, and Georgia have all advanced to the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma trying to join. Eight, 9, and 1. Sarah Willis.
Shannon Sale just hitting 70 miles an hour. Smitty, you just talked about the velocity, upper 60s, but she's feeling right now this game possibly coming to an end, bringing everything that she's got, the biggest game that she has ever pitched in as a senior. Patty Gasso saying that she has earned it.
And a 2-strike count now on Willis.
I've been impressed with the way she's mixed speeds today. She hits 70 and then drops it right down to 57.
This is mean. From the hitter's point of view, you got that kind of movement, and then the 13-mile-an-hour difference is rough when you're 43 feet away, and it looks the same. That's the key, the deception.
Boy, and the trust, I mean, you want to talk about pulling the right levers. You know, you could have gone yesterday or today with Giselle Juarez. G is the 2-time All-American who has played in a couple of World Series. Got hurt a couple years ago, has fought all the way back, and has been a big part of their pitching staff. But Patty Gasso goes with the freshman yesterday and the undefeated Shannon Sale today. Now in her 3rd year at Oklahoma, who transferred in from Florida International, wanting the bigger challenge, wanting the bigger stage. And she's on it today. Sooners a run in the first, second, 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Powered by 3 home run balls today. Washington's run came back in the third. To Tiare Jennings, 1 out. An Oklahoma win, they are into the World Series. They will go for a 5th national championship, the 4th in the last decade. If Washington can muster the comeback, then we will be here tomorrow for Game 3, winner take all for the World Series. Also at stake, some spectacular careers in Husky uniforms for the likes of Sis Bates and Morgan Flores. An outstanding senior class. Would Gabby Plain return after a run at the Olympics this summer? She and Flores have been battery mates the last 4 years. Taryn Atley, another grad student. 0-2 to Alchin. Just missed. Backhanded, 2 down, and fitting that it will come down to the all-time hits leader in Washington history, Sis Bates, down to their final out.
She's been quiet today. She had 2 hits against Oklahoma yesterday. Talked about her in the last half inning. The leader, the vocal leader, the spark plug at the top of this lineup. Always seems to come back around to the right person. We saw it yesterday. The big error by Alchin. She ended up being the last batter to come up. In this case, the big senior. Smitty, it's so hard. You know, you want to pretend that it's not the last, and you want to be conscious of the fact that you want it to continue, and Washington has every opportunity to do that. But you're aware.
Yeah.
You're coming up to bat, and you're feeling the emotion. It's there. You're fighting and you're pushing it down, but it's there.
I think every athlete remembers that last at-bat, that last pitch.
And down to the final strike. And of course, on the other side, the party atmosphere for the Oklahoma Sooners as they continue a quest. They're already in the conversation as being one of the best to ever. And trying to solidify that with a national championship next week. Bates, base hit for Sis. Number 320 for the all-time hits leader at UW.
It's a big exhale on first base. Huge exhale. This atmosphere, this feel, 2 strikes and you're just put the ball in play. Does a beautiful job. Gosh, textbook slap to take a pitch away, drive it up the middle. The Huskies live to see another at-bat.
And she'll pass that bat to Bailey Klingler. An RBI single in the 3rd for Bailey. Right from the start, it was such a tough position to be put in, and the conversations will continue long into the offseason. How in the world Washington got a 16 seed? But they have embraced the mantra of their pitcher, Gabby Plain, and the Australian expression coming to Norman, giving it a red-hot go. Certainly would hope to see her Aussie this summer at the Tokyo Olympiad.
She's got a lot more ahead of her. She'll actually join Danielle Laurie. Will be there for Team Canada. Husky great.
Sis Bates, she was in the running for Team USA.
Heather Tarr, one of the assistant coaches for the United States. Once again, down to their last strike, and they're on their feet. Klingler elevates, and it's caught by Mendez at the wall. The Oklahoma Sooners with their 34th run rule win of the season, and they are going back to the Women's College World Series. Shannon Sale improves to 17-0, and it has become a tradition here. When you add a new number to that list of World Series teams, you get to take the piece of the wall and bring it on in to put a big old 2021 on it.
Of course, it comes back to the senior for Oklahoma. We talked so much about what she's meant to this team. Nicole Mendez out in right field, making that last catch. Not an easy one. I mean, this looked like a double all the way she leaps to make the grab for the last out. So the dog pile begins in the outfield and not the circle.
The emotion of a valiant effort from the Washington Huskies and the celebration for the Oklahoma Sooners. The quest continues for a 5th national championship. They have punched their ticket to the Women's College World Series. We will be back in a moment to hear from the victors. 9-1 Sooners. Let's take a look at today's Capital One rewarding performance. After a strikeout to open up the Supers 6 straight times on base, including a couple of home runs, one yesterday and one today for Jocelyn Alo. Number 30 on the season to tie the single season school record. And she is now standing by with Holly Rowe.
Well, Jocelyn, you tied the school record today with your 30th home run. Why is it every time you step into the batter's box, that is a possibility to go over the fence?
I've spent my whole life just preparing for these moments, and it's just, I really put in a lot of work to be in this spot, and it's just showing that I work hard, and with hard work and dedication, I can go places.
What does it feel like to not only go over the wall, but then you have the tradition, you go get that piece of the wall that means you're going to Oklahoma City?
Oh, it's so special. Just to be able to go back to OKC, and we're so blessed to be here, and we just remember to play for God and stuff like that. So it's super good just to be going back to our home.
Coach always talks about having a championship mindset. You have an opportunity now for a championship. What will it take as you advance now to the World Series?
We just got to play our game and continue to do what we do because it's working, and yeah, we just got to continue to play our game. Sorry.
That's okay. Shannon Sale got the start today. Maybe a surprise to some, but why would her being so great today not be a surprise to you, her teammates?
Shannon just comes in and does her thing. We don't call her Shanny Flame for no reason, so she's the flamer. It's my best friend, and I'm just so proud of her and all her success. She deserves every second of this, so.
Well, thank you so much, Jocelyn Alo. A record-setting performance today, but more importantly, you're on to the World Series.
Thank you. Shout out to Hawaii. Love you guys.
Thank you, Holly. Congratulations to the Oklahoma Sooners. They join Georgia on the left side of the bracket. Alabama and Florida State have also advanced, so the Sooners will play on Thursday against either James Madison or Missouri to open up the Women's College World Series. Georgia will meet either Texas or Oklahoma State. 8 teams will be moving on today or tomorrow to Oklahoma City as the Sooner celebration continues. And their incredible season will continue. 50-2, their record. And those 2 losses, well, they may be teams that they could see again next week. Thanks so much for joining us on this historic day, the very first college softball game on ABC. We'll throw it to studio after this. Beth Mowins, Jess Mendoza, Michelle Smith, Holly Rowe. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.